how I keep drinking uppers and downers at the same time? This can't be good for my health.
That makes it sound like so much worse than what you're actually doing.
It's coffee and beer. It's an upper and a downer.
Yeah, I know. It just sounds so weird.
Yeah, it sounds like you're on hard drugs.
Yeah. Guys, I really gotta stop doing these uppers and downers at the same time. Ugh.
You guys are funny. You guys are hilarious. So funny.
Can you try to sound like you actually believe that?
You guys are hilarious.
Yay.
Just kidding. You guys are hilarious. Oh, man.
Hate you.
Kidding about? Which part are you kidding about?
I don't know. All of it?
All right, I'm done with this. Can we move on?
Welcome back, everyone. This is episode 40 of NBA.
I haven't had my night coffee yet.
Working on that night coffee.
Working on the night coffee.
That's a song, I think.
We probably shouldn't eat before the podcast, actually.
No, it makes us very tired.
Why do you think that? Oh, because of the tired factor? Yeah, I guess that's fair.
Yeah.
You're not tired because you're a ball of energy.
Jay is just straight up energy.
So true. I've been up since 5:30 and I am
He's
not.
like a
stopping.
Voltorb.
Please explain to me what the fuck you just called me.
It's the Pokemon that's just a giant ball.
And it's
I
electric.
know it's electric. Boogie woogie woogie.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was great. I don't know.
Our poke fans are gonna enjoy that.
Fans. Shout out to the Poke fans.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Poke
My
fans.
friends actually do call Pokemon pokes because they're that big of nerds.
They just love.
They have Pokemon
abbreviations.
tournaments and they call them pokes.
Nice. Lovely. All right. Well,
Oh, wow.
Welcome back, y'all. This is NBA. As I said last week, I want to start reminding you that you can rate, review, and subscribe on whatever platform you choose to listen to podcasts. It helps us get into the higher rankings and let people who like NBA stuff like you find us on their respective podcast players. So, thank you in advance. And if you haven't already, the fuck are you waiting for?
All right. Well, don't yell at them.
All right, that was
sorry.
unnecessary.
So aggressive.
All right, let's get into the show. This is your boy Jay Keelas, aka Tim.
Oh, I love
Tim Dunkarookins.
I have a better one. Tim Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah.
That's way better. Shit. I'm trying to come off the shit, some shit off the top of the brain. Vince Cartier. Sorry, this is Jay. I'm really bad at puns. I'm bad at puns.
That was pathetic.
Directly in front of me. What's your name, man?
Just use the same ones every week like I do, because everyone knows who this is.
Who are you?
Cold Stone Cream Austin. Jay, I'm coming to open a pint of whoop ass on you.
I earned that. I probably deserve it. It's frightening.
Yeah.
It's funny because that one makes my boner go down, and this one.
Right back up.
There it is. Shot right
It's
back
your
up.
boy Romaine Reigns.
Shot right back up. Something about
I did not do PEDs.
Something about Samoan women.
I don't.
Just does it for me.
Yeah. I mean, me too. He's a beautiful man. Have you ever seen him?
I have not.
Very attractive. He's like definitely on my list of celebrities I would bang.
Oh Lord!
Right below Michael B. Jordan and Aubrey Plaza.
Oh fuck, dude, that's hilarious.
What was I gonna say? Shit, I forgot. Whatever.
Anyways, to my right, sir, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Nicky Keelas, a.k.a. Bake Griffin, a.k.a. Ham Cassell, a.k.a.
Good one.
Stefan Marbury.
It's not bad. The last one was a little lazy.
Yeah,
but I like
yeah,
that. I
yeah.
like that. It's NBA, y'all. We're back to talk about this week's
Hey,
topics.
it's your boy Klay Thompson.
That's pretty good. Anyways, hey y'all. We're back to talk this week's topics in NBA news, events, pop culture, etc. Most of the time, we try to talk NBA
I know what I
topics.
was gonna say. This has nothing to do with anything. But like Roman Reigns is in trouble for doing PEDs. But like, why do they care if wrestlers do steroids?
I have no idea. Like,
It's
you
not
know
a
they're all
sport.
doing it. Who gives a fuck? Let them
Not a
ride.
sport.
They needed to recover, man. That's the one sport that they absolutely needed.
It's not a sport though. It's theater.
It's theater. It's entertainment.
Theater.
Well,
The manliest theater in the world.
Arguably, it's not that manly. It's
It's pretty melodramatic.
yeah.
Okay.
It's a soap opera for guys.
Soap opera for dudes.
well, welcome back to NBA. As I said,
Is
for
that
the
gonna be one of our YouTube videos?
fourth time.
Soap opera for dudes.
Yeah.
We're gonna try and talk NBA topics this week. If this is your first
I
time,
don't know what to do with my
killing
TV. Where am I gonna put my TV? That would be in the soap opera for dudes.
what the fuck is?
That's sort of a Todd Glass joke, though.
Like,
Wait, what are
music
some other
swells.
situations for the soap opera for dudes?
Soap opera for dudes. They're
He ordered wings, but he's out of ranch.
Where's my ranch, bro? I also thought of an episode about the missing beer bong. Brody, where's my beer bong? Oh no, Blake, I don't know. And then the McDonald's commercial.
So if this is
He's
your
out of Old Spice.
if this is your first time, if you're Old Spice, this is your first time listening to NBA. This is pretty much it. This is pretty much what you should expect. So if you're not into it, just wait. We'll get into some NBA topics. If you're really, really not into it, though, just wait a
like,
little bit longer.
At the most 2-3 hours.
Yeah, give us like 4 or 5 episodes. We'll grow on you. We'll grow on you.
Oh, I meant this episode. I've more ideas for this soap opera.
Clearly,
Obviously, they ran out of beer. I don't know why that wasn't the first one. You
Yeah,
said
that
beer
seems
bong.
too
Beer
obvious.
bong,
That
yeah.
seems too obvious.
That's true.
They girlfriend got them turkey jerky instead of beef jerky.
Becky, how could you?
Think about the protein. That's terrible.
Yeah, ran out of creatine or protein powder.
Love that. Love that.
The bench press is taken at the gym.
All the squat racks are. Yeah, no, bros
that
don't
dude-
squat.
Yeah, that guy would not squat.
That guy doesn't squat.
The star of that show would definitely not squat.
The
He
season,
just does curls and bench press.
That's it. Glory muscles.
the season finale is that the gym is closed for the day, and then he needs to go on a huge adventure to go find
find a
another
gym.
4 blocks away.
That's great.
Brody, I'll see you at Export, bro.
God, I hate you guys.
Or do you love
man.
us?
I do
'Cause-
love you guys. I love you guys. All right. Well, this I wanted to start this week's podcast because this is one of the most fun times of the year. It's March Madness, and I know this is an NBA podcast, but I thought we would talk about the NCAA. NCAA.
NCAA.
God, why?
Yeah.
You texted us this in the first place, and then you fuck it up.
I'm trying to think of puns.
NCAA.
NCAA.
That's correct. That's correct. Guys, have you guys been watching the
The
tournament
most
at all?
obvious pun. You are terrible at puns. Like, you're not getting better. You're getting worse.
That's
if
true.
Anything.
With age, yeah. I'm not turning into wine.
No, you're more
I am
like
not
milk.
fine.
You're pun milk. That's a good name for the episode. Is pun milk.
Wine milk. That's mean.
enjoy
That hurts. Anyways, have you guys been watching the tournament at all? Any thoughts?
Yes.
What do you guys think?
I watched it.
Major
with you.
takeaways?
I watched the Loyola game with you.
That was great. So for the listeners who don't know, we are from Chicago. None of us went to Loyola, but naturally, because Loyola's from Chicago, we latched onto that, and their story's been fun. And they've won their first 2 games of the tournament. They're going to the Sweet 16 for the first time in 33 years.
Yeah.
33 years. The tournament's been fun thus far.
They are a Christian school, so maybe that's God's plan.
They got a God's plan. She said, "Do
You know
you
what?
love
Here's
me?"
my
I
ask.
told
I don't
her,
have any
"Only
drops
Bobby, I
yet,
only love my baby,
but I would
my
love
mama
crickets.
grew on
If you could please put crickets in there,
I'm not playing cricket.
and then I point at you when I want crickets, it's going to just be like,
I
then you're gonna
honestly,
do it.
like, I'm glad you would trust me enough, but if I did that, I would just play a laugh track.
we're going to find
every time.
We're going to figure
Every
this
time
out.
you tried
Every
to get
time.
me to play crickets.
That could be funny. Anyways, all the major NBA prospects, for the most part, except for a couple guys, are all out of the tournament.
Yep.
Virginia got knocked out. They're the first 1 seed to ever lose to a 16 seed in the history of the tournament.
One in 135.
Unbelievable. DeAndre Ayton, who everybody thinks is going to be the number 1 overall pick in this year's draft, got bounced in the first round. They lost by 20, and he had an abysmal game. I mean, he scored 13 and had 14 rebounds, but like, good number 1 overall pick potentially. You should score 13 points and have 14 rebounds. You're the biggest dude on the court and the strongest guy on the court. It's not even close.
Yeah, he's got like a ridiculously long wingspan.
Yeah, and his body's insane. It's like he does not look like
Him
a 19-year-old
and
kid.
what Mo Bamba.
Mo Bamba
Both of
also
them.
got bounced
Just
in the
like,
first round. Trae Young got bounced in the first round. The only guys that are left are like Marvin Bagley, Mikal Bridges. The entire like Michigan State got bounced, so Miles Bridges and Jaren Jackson are gone. Like all the NBA prospects for the most part, like high end NBA prospects, are all out of the tournament. All that's left is Marvin Bagley, which to his credit, because Michael Porter looked like shit in his last 2 games and also got bounced in the first round. This could be Marvin Bagley's opportunity to shoot up the draft board. Like if he has a monster tournament and leads Duke to the championship, that's the storyline that's going to make a lot of people think like, oh, he might be better than this guy and this guy and this guy and this guy. Let's draft him number 2 instead of number 5, which sucks because I was really hoping he had a terrible tournament so he would fall to us. Because at this rate, we might actually be able to get Michael Porter, which I'm not too sad about.
No, that'd be
I'm not sad at all about that. He was supposed to be the number 1 overall pick, and he's fallen down the
He's
draft.
just gotten hurt.
That happens every year, though. Like, remember a couple years ago when Shabazz Muhammad was a freshman at UCLA,
Yeah.
and everybody's like, no question, number 1 overall pick, 6'8", can shoot the 3, he can take people off the dribble. And Matt's never heard of Shabazz Muhammad.
Yeah,
I've heard of Shabazz Muhammad. I just want you to stop talking so I can make a joke.
What's your joke, man?
I really like. I really think Mo Bamba should be the name of a drink.
What's in that drink, Matt?
Definitely coconuts.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
It sounds
Pineapple.
sounds like an
It sounds a
island.
little bit
rum.
like a peanut. It's definitely sounds a little bit like a peanut.
tropical
colada.
drink.
Yeah, it's definitely tropical. There's definitely an umbrella in it.
I like
Yeah,
that.
that's okay. So it's definitely a rum-based
Yeah,
drink.
rum. For
I like the idea of it coming in a coconut. Like coming in a coconut with some rum. Is that the title of the episode? Coming in a
No.
coconut?
No. I hate that. I hate
on.
that you put that. I came in my pants on Instagram.
Didn't you
That's
though?
disgusting. No,
Didn't
I
you though?
didn't.
I throw the word come around way too
Like,
comfortably.
yeah.
I'm very comfortable with the word come.
Weird.
Come
I was,
on. Come on.
I forget where I was, and like my friend just like says to me, "Is like, oh, it looks like you have cum on the back of your coat." And I was like,
I was gonna
"What?"
say that today, but I know you guys are uncomfortable with the word come, so I didn't say come.
Why won't someone help me with this?
You want me to rub that cum off your jacket?
What happened to your jacket?
It's
I
got cum
don't
on
know.
it.
It doesn't have cum on it.
got something
It's
on
got
there.
a white stain apparently, but I can't see it.
Nobody knows. Boy cum, girl cum, dog cum. Nobody knows. It's something gross.
Wait,
dog
how can you
cum.
not see it? Take the jacket off.
I keep forgetting about it. She
Sounds like an easy solution.
said it in public too. We were like somewhere like where they were children, I think.
Classic.
Ooh.
Classic.
I was like, "You're vulgar."
Oh man. Anyways, it's been a fun tournament. I like to watch. I will say this: where the Bulls are slated in the draft, Mikal Bridges is right around that spot, and he destroyed Buffalo. No, it wasn't Buffalo. Who did they play? Alabama. Colin Sexton.
Oh, yeah.
Who was also out of the tournament already, but made it to the second round. That's cool. But like, I think he dropped like 23 in the second half. Like he had 5 points altogether. No, he had 1 point in the first half, and then came out in the second half and just went berserk from 3-point range. Like I think he had like 8 3-pointers in a row. Ended up with like, I don't know. He had a lot of 3-pointers. He scored a lot of points. He had a really good second half. I'm interested to see if maybe the Bulls pick him up. He's not like the oh my God, he's a star type of player.
Yeah.
But he's really good defensively. He's long. He can guard the probably 2 through 4, and he can shoot the 3. He's shooting like 43% from 3. So he's a good 3-point shooter.
What's his free throw percent?
Probably in the 80s. I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe 70s. College basketball players shoot 3 free throws for shit. Anyways, next topic on the agenda. What?
Just found it funny that Nicky was just like, "What's the free throw percentage?"
I wanted to see if you
You're
knew.
interested in boring things.
It seemed like you really knew.
For what it's worth, one of the only stats that really transition over to like somebody being a good shooter from college to the NBA is free throw percentage. Guys who can't shoot good free throws tend to not be good shooters in the NBA. Guys who shoot high percentage from the free throw line, usually even if their 3-point shots are not falling at a high enough clip, they get to that level a couple years into the NBA because they have the natural stroke. But that was
And
a
they
dumbass.
practice.
That was a dumbass
Yeah.
question. Sorry. Anyways, so
about practice.
it came out early this week that Ty Lue is
Not a game. Not a game.
that Pyverson was last week, bro.
Not a game.
Pyverson was last week.
We talking about.
Oh, but do you know who Pyverson stepped over after hitting a very good shot?
Ty Lue. What a segue.
You're welcome.
Teamwork. I love it. Teamwork.
Do you mean Pilu?
Pylu.
That's not
I was
bad.
going to call him Ty Flu because he's sick and he needs some time off.
He doesn't have the flu, though, man. That's heartless, bro. Good segue. So Ty Lue is stepping away from the Cavs for health concerns and health reasons. Apparently, there was some. It's been a known issue in the Cavs environment that he's been sick. He hasn't been sleeping well. I think he might
Does
have.
Ty Lue have typhoid?
No, no, he does not.
I'm Nicky Quiles, a.k.a. Typhoid Lue.
All right, so he
That's a good name.
confirmed he hasn't been on the Oregon Trail. I had to Google typhoid because I couldn't remember if it was an actual disease or I was getting it confused with what is the tropical storm? Typhoon. There we go.
Wasn't that the name of the hairdresser on Parks and Rec? Typhoon. That was his name.
I don't remember. That's so funny. Oh shit, that's funny.
At the end of I think it was the last episode of Parks and Rec where like he starts cutting Ron's hair and he's talking about like Eurotrash. And Ron's like, I too hate European people. They just like they vibe over hating Europeans. Anyways,
Such a good show.
the Cavs have had a really weird season in terms of drama and like trouble and
Typhoid.
typhoid. Thank you, Matt, for your contribution. What were your initial thoughts when you heard about this? This is not the first time that a coach has stepped away for health reasons in the last couple of years. Steve Clifford had to do so a couple of years ago, and like Steve Kerr has had problems in the past. What were your first reactions when this came out?
I didn't care that much.
Heartless, man. Heartless.
I don't really like Ty Lue. I don't know why.
I don't think he's a very good
A lot
coach.
of people think
so.
he's just like they think LeBron. He's like LeBron's whipping boy, basically, which is
Yeah, I feel like
terrible.
he's even like I dislike him even more than Eric Spoelstra.
See, Eric Spoelstra's a funny one though, because like when he was coaching the Threedles or whatever the fuck you want to call them, the Heatles, like
the Heatles.
yeah, well, you know what I mean. Anyways, like everybody thought he was a shit coach.
Do
He
you
just
think
had a really
Migos
great
is
team.
better than the Heatles?
In basketball?
Possibly. I think
Collectively,
Quavo is pretty good.
That's true.
Quavo can't hoop. He won MVP in the Celebrity All Star game this year.
He
so
also like ran over Rachel
just-
Demita.
Yeah, he destroyed that girl from 2K. Shout out. Hey, what's up, Rachel?
He knocked out all her VC.
You know why? You know why I think he thinks that's even funnier, and I love it so much because that seemed like more of a Sonic reference than a 2K reference.
It was both. Yeah.
I was like,
shit.
that's more of a Sonic reference.
That's funny. That's funny.
Yeah. Did Deezus and Miro possibly add Sonic rings to that? I hope so.
I don't know.
That definitely deserves.
I wish
Sonic
we
rings.
had somebody on staff who went to school for film and could like
you so
make a
much.
movie like that. You know?
Can you add Sonic rings to stuff?
I could try.
I wanted to make an app for adding Sonic rings to videos. Actually, I actually did like get to the point where if you tap on the screen, Sonic rings would come out.
It's pretty damn close. That's pretty damn
That's
close.
pretty great.
What did we pay for? What did you go to school for again?
What? You didn't pay for shit. I don't know what the fuck you're talking
I paid
about.
for a couple things.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
I paid you compliments. I paid you in loyalty and brotherhood.
Loyalty. I pulled out I was going to Collectivo, and I pulled out my loyalty card, and then I was like, loyalty, and my friend didn't laugh. I was upset.
I was hoping that you were going to be like, and the barista was like, tempo, no switching sides.
That would be amazing.
Oh man.
The biggest tip if that happened.
Yeah,
I'd be
Matt,
like,
Matt would have
"Oh."
proposed in that moment, man or woman, doesn't matter. You're mine. I'm keeping you forever.
Since I saw Black Panther, I'm bisexual, so.
That's true. That's there's no doubt about that.
Oh god, some old white lady thought I was like asked me if I was gay when I was taking pictures. In front of a fire pit, and she's like, "Are you gay?" And it's like I was like, "Well, sexuality is a spectrum," and she was like, "Yeah, that means he's gay." Whatever.
Oh fuck. Well, while Ty Lue left, Kevin Love came back, and looks just like he did before he left. He scored 18 and had 7 boards in his first game, 17 and 9 Today,
Ty Lue is Thai-sexual.
that's good.
That's Thai-sexual is when you wear bow ties and regular ties.
Hey, I do that. I have bow ties, a lot of them.
Anyways, so with all the stuff that's been going on with the Cavs, are we concerned that this is going to
Bow
be...
tie Lue pasta.
Y'all can't see it right now, but I am choking the shit out of my mic.
We can see it.
Oh, you can. I'm choking the shit out of my mic because I'm losing my goddamn passions. Anywho.
I do like that, though.
Anywho. Bow tie
good.
pasta, Lou. Bow tie Lou pasta. That's stupid. Anyways, with all the shit that's been going on with the Cavs, do we have concerns that maybe all this shit is going to derail, even with LeBron, it's going to derail their ability to actually have a long run in the playoffs? Because they haven't looked good. They're playing the Raptors tonight. They're down one right now. And yeah, it's just like people have been out, people come back in. Ronnie Hood, they just traded for him. He's been in and out. Like Jordan Clarkson was good, then not so good. Now you got Kevin Love coming back. Larry Nance going back to the bench. Ty Lue was in, now he's out. Like there's all these moving parts, and it's at the point now where like Kevin Love's coming back at the right time because he can get a couple games in before the playoffs start. But also like they had one run where they won a bunch of games in a row.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the season has just been up and down, primarily down. Do we have like they're clearly talented. They're the third team in the East right now, but at this rate, more and more, do we feel like they're actually going to be the team that comes out of the East? Like, do we think they can get through all this drama?
I think this is the best year to beat them.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
This is where like they're wounded. They are wounded.
You gotta go for the jugular in this season.
They're battle tested. They're wounded. It's just not looking good.
Because if anyone, takes off the pedal a little bit because they're like, well, now they look worse. That's when LeBron James comes and kicks the living shit out of you.
Yep.
He becomes go.
That's the one thing. I was listening to some podcasts this week, and they were all talking about like,
why have all the Dragon Ball Z people did you choose Go Tanks?
It's two people put together.
Ooh.
So that's all.
I don't understand any of those references.
Him and LeBron James Jr. They go, yeah, and then they become one Super Saiyan together.
You saying a
I
grown
think
man and a
LeBron
baby
is
boy?
more Goku.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. I don't think he's a fusion of two people.
I mean, it would explain why he doesn't
None
get
of
hurt.
this makes sense. No, he eats sensu beans. Do you even know what show we're talking about?
No, you fucking nerds. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
How did you grow up and not watch Dragon Ball Z?
That was his job.
How did you grow up in the 90s and not watch Dragon Ball Z?
I was out playing sports and doing sports stuff.
Oh, what a fucking guy.
I was also doing all that.
He's so fucking manly.
So
He's playing
confused.
sports, using Old Spice deodorant.
I have Old Spice deodorant.
I do too.
I've been doing curls since I was like 10.
That makes
Just
sense.
like this, and like that, and like this, and like that.
I'm glad you demonstrated because I thought you meant you were curling your hair.
His hair does curl though
It does,
naturally.
naturally, it looks
Pretty
great.
hilarious.
Anyways, what was I talking about? Oh, so I was listening to some
Basketball.
podcasts.
Dragon Ball Z.
I definitely wasn't talking about that. I was listening to some podcasts this week, and they were all saying like this has happened before, where like LeBron looks weak going into the playoffs, and then it's like you got to play 7 games potentially against LeBron James. Good luck beating that dude. Like even if his team looks like trash, it's hard to go against the best player in the world. That being said, this is one of those years where it's just like you can pretty much only focus on LeBron. And that team could very well fall apart. Like it's just not a good year for them. Anyways, one of Matt's favorite childhood players, Vince Carter, shot up to number 27 on the all-time scoring list, passing
22 on the.
Yeah, I messed that up. I read that somewhere else, but it's 27.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it's 27. He passed Patrick Ewing for 27th all time. He's now behind Artis Gilmore, former Bull, Jerry West, Rick Barry, Reggie Miller, and Carmelo Anthony's probably the next one. Although I don't think he's gonna be Carmelo Anthony because Melo's younger and shit. But I gotta be honest, I was kind of shocked. I'm kind of shocked that he's that high on the list because he definitely had his peak years, but like I don't think he had like sustained like high level scoring.
I found it says 22nd on this one.
Yeah, see, it says 27 on this list.
That's weird.
Oh, you know what it is?
All these crazy lists.
It's WNBA or ABA and NBA. That's why I'm looking at the NBA and ABA.
Oh.
Yeah, he's 22 on the all-time NBA scoring list.
Cool.
You're right. You're right. That's where I fucked up. Thank you. But anyways, I was surprised that he was even that high. Like he had a period of time where he was like great, you know, phenomenal.
And then times when he barely played.
Yeah, I mean, like if you look at his career, like he was pretty much scoring up to about 20 points per game until he left the Nets, which is in 2008. But over the last 10 years, he's gone down 16, 14, 15, 13, 10, 13, 11, 5, 6, 8, 5. So it's like he hasn't been a scoring machine over the last 10 years.
Yeah.
So, you know, he's been in the NBA since 98, which is, you know, a 20-year career basically. So half of his career, he was a 20-point per game scorer. A couple years there, he was like 25, 27, 24. 28 in one season in New Jersey. Man, he was good in New Jersey. But it's like half of his career, he was a dominant scorer. And the last back half of his career, he was barely scoring that much. I was honestly just shocked. Like to beat somebody like Patrick Ewing, who had like longevity until, you know, like the last 4 years of his career, basically. Yeah, it just caught me off guard, but I guess I was just wondering, like, your guys' initial thought when you found that out.
I think Vince Carter's a Time Lord, and he's able to go back in time to score more points.
The fuck is a Time Lord?
It's you can just time travel. He can time travel.
Of course. Yeah, see, like, so Patrick
Use
Ewing...
context clues, Jared.
Come on.
So Patrick Ewing played from 85 to 2001, which is like 15 seasons, 16 seasons. But he was like a 20 per game scorer until basically 98. And then he had 3 years left in the NBA and it was over. So it's like that's a guy who didn't play nearly as long, but only by 4 years.
13, that means only what two less seasons. Vince Carter was averaging 20 points a game.
Yeah,
and
like
he's
3 less
playing-
seasons.
He's played what? How many more seasons did we say?
4.
4. So it makes sense.
3 less seasons. Yeah, it makes sense. But it caught me off guard. I didn't think that he was that high up the list.
Yeah.
Yeah,
know what I mean?
I wouldn't have thought that either.
He's still. How are we gonna? One of the things I was thinking about when it came out was like, so when you think about Vince Carter when he retires, like, are we gonna remember? Like,
Layups.
if you had to like just
Free throws.
throw.
No, I love the thing that he said where he was like, my old coach.
High-fiving me.
I'll never forget.
My
that.
old coach used to say that there's no point in dunking because it's the exact same amount of points as layups.
Yeah,
And
that
he
was
like,
a white dude.
My coach couldn't. No, he was like, my coach couldn't dunk. It's like that's what I remember Vince Carter for. That's
fair.
the original Carmelo Anthony.
If you had to hypothetically, just theoretically, put a number on where he's ranked all time, is he in your top 50? All time, top 50 players of all time. I don't even think he's top 20 like shooting guards of all time. He's probably top 20 shooting guards of all time.
there's not that many amazing
Yeah, that's
shooting
true.
guards.
He's probably top 20 shooting guards of all time.
Yeah.
But is he
I
a
don't know
top 50
about
player of all time?
I don't know.
I don't think
I don't think
so.
so either. I don't think so either.
Maybe
Like
right on
despite
the-
the
right at the
fact that
edge.
he scored that much, like there's plenty of guys who didn't score as much as him that were way better than him as NBA players.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Steve Nash,
Steve Nash,
John Stockton,
great example. Both of those guys
You
way
gonna
better
name
than
any
Vince Carter.
non-white guys?
Magic Johnson, or did Magic Johnson
Okay,
score
now
more than
stop
him?
naming point guards.
Yep. He definitely did. Yeah, he definitely did. There's definitely guys that have like been like, oh, here's an interesting one. Dwight Howard, Vince Carter. At the end of their careers, who had a better career?
Vince Carter.
Vince Carter, I feel like.
I completely disagree.
Dwight Howard is complete trash now.
Dwight Howard was
he's averaging
a
like
3-time defensive player of the year and was a top 5 player in the NBA for a long extended period of time.
he's averaging like I feel like 18
Now,
or 13 this year.
but he's actually having
he's doing pretty good.
He's having a
He's
solid
good.
season, you know,
Can you
considering.
look up real quick what he's doing this season?
Yeah, I'm looking right now. So right now he's at 16 and 12,
16 and 12,
which is
He
solid,
also was an assistant coach on the Pugs.
which is the most important thing. But like he's 8-time All-Star, 8-time All-Star, 5-time rebound champ, 2-time block champ, 8-time All-NBA, 5-time All-Defensive, All-Rookie team, 3 times Defensive Player of the Year. So if you look at that versus a Vince Carter, which is
Okay, I changed my mind.
I just like people
I think
forget
it's-
how good Dwight
I think
Howard
it's because
was.
Yeah.
Dwight Howard's been such like a pain in
crybaby.
the ass for so long that people forgot. I know he's very good, but like it's just been so long where he's been a pain in the ass.
How about this one? This one might be a little bit easier to compare. Vince Carter, Gary Payton.
Gary Payton, definitely.
I think so too.
Yeah,
I
so
think
do
so
I.
too. He's the only non-wing player or non-big man to ever win Defensive Player of the Year.
So is he only,
Not ever, but
he's the
like-
only point guard to win Defensive Player of the Year?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Everybody else has been a
Basically,
center
or-
or like a wing player.
Yeah. So that mean like a power forward has never won it?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
There we go.
That's not true. Draymond won last year, but nonetheless, you know what I
Right.
mean. Anyways, George Gervin, Vince Carter, very similar games. Scoring. Best player on their teams, never won anything, never won an MVP.
I think I give recency bias to Vince Carter.
I would say George Gervin.
See, and I'm twisted on that one because he's higher than George Gervin on the all-time scoring list. But so I'll reel off George Gervin's stats.
Jay, don't get it twisted.
Oh Lord. So 12-time All-Star, 4-time scoring champ, 7-time All-NBA, 2-time All-NBA, All-ABA, All-Star Game MVP, All-Rookie, and of course Hall of Fame, right? And then you look at Vince Carter. So if we look at VC, we have 8-time All-Star, just a couple off, 2-time All-NBA, off, Rookie of the Year, he did not win that, never scoring champ, All-Rookie team, made All-NBA twice.
Definitely
George Gervin. George Gervin.
Yeah,
Better
sounds
career,
like it. Never
scored
mind.
less. Right? So it's funny to think about a VC because like I said, like he jumped up the rankings in terms of scoring, and he was one of the most exciting players during a period where the NBA had like no stars. There was Iverson, Kobe, T-Mac, but not like a LeBron level star. They didn't have like, even though people would argue that Kobe was that LeBron level star, but
Yeah.
like people have differing opinions on Kobe. Like I had a really long string of arguments on Instagram about Kobe Bryant a couple weeks ago because like Kobe
I saw that.
Kobe
Yeah,
people.
we saw them.
Oh man, Kobe people will go to bat for Kobe. They will go to bat for Kobe forever.
But like LeBron is a billion times better than
Next
Kobe,
level.
no question.
Yeah.
Well, that wasn't the question. So basically, what I said
No,
was
I
that
think
I said Tim Duncan was better than
over-
Kobe Bryant. Like all time on my list, top 10 players, I think Tim Duncan should be higher than Kobe Bryant.
Which I
Yeah,
did.
Kobe's not the best shooting guard of all time. Tim Duncan's clearly the best.
Best at his
power forward.
position,
Yeah.
same amount of championships. He has more MVPs, and at their
Tim Duncan has more?
oh yeah, Kobe only has one MVP.
Yeah.
Tim Duncan has two.
Oh, I forgot about the second one that Tim Duncan got.
Also, Tim Duncan won MVP of the finals 3 out of the 5 times that they won. Kobe won twice.
Yeah.
You know. Now a lot of people were like, "Well,
Kobe
Tim
wasn't
Duncan-
the best player on his team.
that's what I said."
As many times as Tim Duncan.
That's what I said. I said Tim Duncan was easily the best player on his team all those years. Then some people were like, "Well, Kobe had to go through a bunch of rebuilds and this and that." It's just like, okay, but we're not talking organizations. We're talking player to player. You know what I mean? Like performance. Like way more people wanted to play with Tim Duncan than play with Kobe. Anyways, nonetheless, like Vince Carter was one of the very exciting people during that period of time. There wasn't a lot of people. And yeah, kudos to Vince Carter, man. Congratulations for getting 22nd on the list of all-time NBA scorers. Yeah, man, you were great. So,
Thanks for listening to the podcast.
next topic on the agenda. The playoffs are coming very close to. Oh, I guess we should mention the Grizzlies won a game.
Yeah.
They won a game. They
then
snapped a
good for
losing
them.
streak.
Didn't they lose 2 in a row right after that? Or just-
They're
or they just
one in a
game
row. Yeah,
lose?
they lost one since then. Anyways, the playoff matches are shaping up, and as of today, Minnesota has gone from like the 4 seed to now the 7 seed. New Orleans is sitting at the 5th seed. Portland is still strong at the 3rd seed right now. San Antonio, from being last week where we were like, they're probably not going to make it.
they were 10th
Now
last
they're
week.
6th. Utah's back in the mix. The East is done. Like whoever's in, like, there's nobody else moving into these. The West, there's a lot of close knits between like number 4 and number 8. So there's a lot of moving, and honestly, like number 4 and like number 11, because Denver was up for a while. They've been on a downturn.
Yeah.
They've been losing a lot, especially on the road, which
They
is bad
just-
for a number 8
They
seed.
just won that put them above the Clippers. So now they're 9th and the Clippers are 10th. I think both them and the Clippers are done for, though. I know they got like 12 games left, but I don't know.
I like the
who
Clippers.
knows? They might go on
So-
like a little streak, but I don't think they do.
I have a couple questions regarding the playoffs. Number 1, based on the teams that you see on these here, what team, if you're a high seed, are you, whether it's East or West, are you most afraid to play in the first round? So let's start with the East. So if you're looking at the playoffs right now, what team are you the most afraid of going up against in the first round?
I think Milwaukee could do something.
Milwaukee's scary because they have one of the top 5 players in the NBA.
Yeah.
My thought was like Milwaukee. Washington has a lot of playoff experience.
Definitely.
And yes, they've had a really shitty season, but like if they could figure it out and put it together, that's a scary team.
Yeah, if you have those two at the
And the other one, for me, Philadelphia, man. Joel Embiid is scary. Joel Embiid is like, if you got to face that guy potentially 7 games, that's scary, man. Like that guy can win a game for you. He really could. He could absolutely win a game.
Hopefully the Celtics have healthy players. That might get
That's gonna hurt them.
crazy.
Like right now, they're up against Miami. Miami's been a good team most of the season. They've been on the downturn recently, but like you said, they've had a lot of injuries. Marcus Smart is out. Kyrie's been out in and out with a knee. Al Horford's had some health problems this year. Gordon Hayward's probably not going to come back this year. There've been a lot of guys who have been in and out of that lineup, and that's concerning for a team that's like it's a new group of people. Did you guys hear the rumor that Isaiah Thomas says he wants to go back to Boston next year? And he'll come off the bench? I love that. I fucking love that. I love it. I hope he does it. I hope he does. I hope they bring him back. Because here's the thing. If they bring him back on a discounted deal, because that's probably what he's going to get, people love him there. They'll give him like a 1+1 so he can like bet on himself for a season. Give him a scoring role off the bench like he used to do in Sacramento. And boom. Maybe keep him as a 6 man, like a highly paid 6 man.
That would be scary for the other team.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. And he knows that system. He loves that team. He loves that city. Anyways, I'm getting off track. So Boston, Milwaukee, Washington. In the West, what teams, if you're playing them in the first round right now, like if you're looking at, let's say, top 4 seeds overall, who are you most afraid of?
I mean, even though Boogie got hurt in New Orleans because Anthony Davis is terrifying.
And also, LaMarcus Aldridge is healthy again, and he's balling
definitely
out.
the Spurs.
So,
obviously.
and I can see it. It's Portland, and I know Portland has trouble with the Spurs. So
here's mine. Let's just say hypothetically, and this has not been confirmed yet. Let's just say hypothetically, Jimmy comes back. Golden State's been battling with a lot of injuries lately. KD's been in and out. Clay's out, which we're going to talk about. Well, I guess we're not going to talk about that, but he's out right now.
Yeah.
Draymond's been in and out. Steph's been in and out. They've had a lot of injuries this year. And while Minnesota has been on a downturn since Jimmy left, which speaks volumes to how impactful he was on that team this year. Like
they started to steady the ship again, but they were going down for a second.
They still are. They're down to the 7th seed. They were down to like 4th, 5th, and now they're back down to 7. They're on the verge of not making it to the playoffs at this rate.
Yeah,
which is crazy to think about.
They got up to 4th, but then 2 people won that were already like just tied with them, and they went above them.
Here's a theoretical.
Who was it? The Pelicans and the Spurs.
Here's a theoretical question: if they don't make the playoffs this year, do they fire Tibbs?
No. They were the 3rd seed until their best player got hurt.
You lost a lot of games. A lot of games after you lost Jimmy. A lot.
Yeah, your best player by like a long shot.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I wouldn't say it's a long shot, but
Jimmy's definitely their best player. It's not. Close.
Not by a long shot.
That's
like
fair.
Cat is.
Yes. I think Cat's good, but Cat is every like 3rd time down the court, he's good at defense. Yeah. Outside of that, he's ass.
But he definitely puts them on his back. That's a team that I'm like, that's a team where you're like, okay, if they get Jimmy back and they're playing Golden State in the first round and Golden State's still coming back off some injuries, that could be at worst, it could be a really fun series.
Yeah.
Like that's a really fun series.
It would
to
be
watch
a very Minnesotan way of like sports where it's like they get Jimmy back, they get all the way to the game 7, and then they just crap the bed.
He makes references that I don't think anyone gets.
I get it.
If we have any fans in Minnesota.
I get it.
Minnesota.
I get it. Another question as it pertains to like, okay, the season's coming to a close. What team were you most pleasantly surprised with this season?
Indiana Pacers.
Ooh, good call. Why is that?
Because everybody was talking about how amazing a job Presti did for getting Paul George just for like those 2 like guys who were pointless on the Thunder. And now they're pretty much the reason they're doing so good. Also, I can't believe Lance Stevenson is back in the fucking league.
He's playing well.
He's playing good.
Really well.
Like, it was crazy.
You know, he's filling his role. That's what he did in Indiana. Like he stepped outside of that shadow, and the light was just way too bright for him. And now he's back doing what he does.
And
Indiana,
I think the second for me would be the Jazz on that one.
That's my pick. Because the Jazz are like a team that lost their best player, where you're thinking, oh, they're rebuilding. They draft a kid, 13th. They trade up to get him. He ends up being their best scorer. Rudy Gobert steps up to another level defensively. And, like, yo, shout out to Quinn Snyder. Like, he should probably be, like, if they make it to the playoffs, probably top 2 or 3 in NBA Coach of the Year voting this year. Like, great fucking job. Yeah. Biggest disappointment. Well, I'm sorry.
I knew you were gonna do that.
Biggest surprise to date. Pleasant surprise of teams.
Utah was up there for me, and then I would say Portland. I've always been a fan of them, and like
Dame's on another level.
God. He's like really.
Also, his shoes are
hitting
awesome.
His potential. Yeah, that too.
Oh, and also Toronto. Like, we don't give them enough credit, man.
Because I re-listened to it. I was like, they're top 3 at least for me.
Oh, yeah. Well, but I'm just saying, like, everybody knew they were going to be a top 3 team in the East, but, like, the way that they're playing this year, being the number 1 overall seed, and just, like, looking like a number 1 overall seed, like, they're winning against the Cavs again tonight.
Yeah, top 3 in the East is, like, I don't feel like that's a very big deal.
Sure. Yeah. There's competition at the top. Toronto's another team where I'm like, holy shit, good.
One thing that I thought was
like
pretty cool.
They should be top 3.
Yeah, one thing that I thought was pretty cool about the Raptors is I was reading an article about their practice, and they were doing scrimmage games. If it's in the paint, it's 2 points. If it's a 3-pointer, it's 3 points. If it's a corner 3, it's 4 points. And if it's anywhere in the mid-range, it's 0 points. That's how they do their practice games now.
Interesting.
So they're worrying about passing and being able to get easy corner 3s mainly. Like they're like, that's where you got to focus. And you can see it in the games. It's amazing. It works. And Dwayne Casey is also like Coach of the Year, could be.
Oh,
maybe.
yeah. I think at this rate, he might actually win Coach of the Year.
Yeah.
Number 1 overall
doing so
seed,
good.
like a team that they didn't expect to be. His team's really, really good. And some of the early candidates, they've kind of fallen down. Like Brad Stevens started to fall down.
Yeah.
Quinn Snyder's definitely high up there, but like his team kind of has to make the playoffs for him to be considered.
Yeah. And I feel like at this point, Pop is a lot like LeBron James, where you're
exactly.
like, he is the reason that their team is doing what they're doing.
No
but
doubt.
like
No doubt.
It's not as fun a story, so they don't freaking.
Well, and also Mike D'Antoni won last year, so you can't really give it to him again.
Yeah.
It's like, granted they're playing amazing. They're the number 1 overall team in the NBA, but nonetheless. Biggest overall disappointment this season?
The Chicago Bulls.
No.
Tell them why.
Oh, because they're winning too much?
Yeah.
They're on my list of biggest disappointments.
They went on a pointless win streak that really fucked them over.
Ruined their season.
Ruined
their season.
They should have been tanking since day one. And then they were too far in the middle, so they were like, fuck, we got to swim back to shore. And so, but they couldn't do that because they were trying to like get rid of people, just have them not play. And then they're like, nope, not cool.
At the time of the trade deadline, I get what they were trying to do, try to get some value for Robin Lopez, but like, if you're not getting shit for him and all you can get is some shitty contracts or a second rounder, get rid of him. He is a good NBA player, and we need to suck.
Yeah.
The fuck are you doing? Get rid of him. You can keep Justin Holiday. Justin Holiday is terrible. He's not a good NBA player.
He just
He's one of the worst,
threes.
most least efficient starters in the NBA. But like Robin Lopez can actually get you a win. Like he can actually impact a game in a positive way. We don't need any positively impactful players. We need just trash players. And what's wrong is like what really frustrates me is like we're gonna get the 8th overall pick, and like I'm super impressed by the way that Chris Dunn plays this season. Like he's been great.
Yeah.
But is he like the point guard of the future? Remains to be seen. But if you could get a much better player that plays his position in the draft, you fucking do it. You're loading up on talent. Like this is not the end team. This is a team of like you're loading up on young players, seeing which one of them ends up coming up on top, and then trade the other one up for somebody who will complement the rest of your pieces. Like they can't even tank right. It's so frustrating. Like we're gonna get the 8th overall pick. Historically speaking, that round, like that range of picks, like let's say like 6 to 12 theoretically, you don't get stars there. You don't get Donovan Mitchells that often. You don't get Giannis's that often. Yeah. That rarely happens. Like you don't get Kawhi Leonard's that often. That does not happen often. Top 5 is where you need to be to get somebody who's really going to make an impact. Like historically speaking, that's where you get a guy who's going to change the trajectory of your franchise. And we fucked it up. Yeah, Bulls are definitely on my list. Definitely on my list. Matt, who do you have?
I was gonna say even though they both had injuries, the Pelicans and the Timberwolves. Like the Pelicans, like when they had Boogie, they should have been so much better, and it feels like they're better without him, which upset me.
It does kind of seem like they're better without him, which is a crazy.
My big one is Milwaukee. Milwaukee's such a disappointment, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
To have a guy, a player like Giannis,
Once in a lifetime.
you know what I mean? Generational talent. Like nobody knows how to stop that kid because he's a freak. He's literally a freak. Then you have guys like Chris Middleton and a lot of guys who should be
Chris
complimentary.
Middleton was a pug.
Of course he was.
Chris Middleton should be a lot better than he is right now.
He's still solid though, but he does what he does well. But like that team is just a wreck, man. You think Eric Bledsoe's going to give them a bump, and he did temporarily, but then they just fell again. Like,
And then they got rid of
really
Jason
should be
Kidd,
better.
which gave him a bump, and then they just fell
it's
back
just
again.
Was the coach of the pug.
Jesus, we're gonna get a shirt that says.
I had a lot of bucks.
so-and-so
I did
was a
trade
bug.
for a few bucks, so that's fine.
Anyways, the Bucks have been super
I almost got
disappointing.
Giannis at one point.
Ooh, that would have been a hot trade. Oh, OKC. Can we talk about OKC for a bit?
I mean, they're
I
fourth.
can't believe I forgot about that.
I mean,
they're
yes,
still
they're fourth.
disappointment though.
They're not good. They're not bad. They're just meh. Which
Yeah.
last year they were also meh, and they didn't have Paul George and Carmelo Anthony.
Yeah.
Yeah, they should have been much better.
It was disappointing.
Although I can't say I'm surprised though.
No.
Melo doesn't play defense.
No, and he's a shell of himself. He's not even hitting jumpers anymore. Like he's not the same Melo. Him and Dwayne Wade of that class, like those are the two guys that have aged very poorly.
Yeah.
Just very poorly. Like it shows you the difference
Although
between.
Wade has 3 rings. So.
Yeah, he's probably just kind of tired of.
But
doing
overall,
stuff
he's
now.
he's aged pretty poorly.
It's not fair that like they're being compared to LeBron James, a literal
And then
freak of
who else?
nature.
Oh yeah, Chris Bosh was in the.
Yeah,
Right.
So yeah, 2 not in the league, 2 are old.
Right.
Well, all of them are old.
And the other is Darko Milicic.
yeah,
Yeah, that's what I meant. 2 not.
yeah, not in the league, but yeah. LeBron James scored 40 points in a triple double yesterday or 2 days ago. I don't remember which one it
monster.
was.
He's a freak.
The second oldest to ever do it. Like it.
Yeah.
It's not fair. He should be. He should
Wade
be.
Wade is probably playing like he should be for his
Yeah.
age
Yeah.
and his knee injuries. And then Melo just like, I know he's a professional athlete, but he looks like he's not in shape.
No, not anymore.
He's also like
anymore.
a human bodega cat.
A
Like,
what?
A human
See,
bodega
there's one
cat.
see, that's a reference we don't get.
You guys don't know what bodega cats are?
We're not from New York.
No, Nicky. What is a bodega cat?
I just learned what a bodega was.
It's exactly what it sounds like. It's a cat that just hangs out of the bodega
Why is Carmelo a bodega cat?
because they just hang around. They don't do anything.
Couldn't you just call him a cat?
Yeah, but it was a New York reference.
You're the worst. The other team, I would also say a couple of more teams. Detroit, Charlotte, and Washington.
I like how we both side in unison.
He looks like a bodega cat. The fuck is that?
Kelly O'Bleep just slacked us, saying, "I'm at Kohl's with my Mormon camp counselor."
Whoa.
I want to know what's going on. She's had some eventful few days at Kohl's.
She almost got married, and then they
Sharkula
got
asked her
divorced.
to marry her, and then she got in a fight with him.
Goodness.
And now she's with her Mormon camp counselor.
She's going through some
What a
shit.
week.
Anyways, last topic on the agenda today. Klay Thompson's on the Slam cover.
Yay Thompson?
Thank you.
No.
Yay, Thompson.
Nay Thompson.
Nay
Klay
Thompson.
I don't like Klay Thompson, and
Why-
his cover sucked.
Why did they put him on the cover?
I
I
don't
don't know because they want their sales to go down.
They only have, maybe they're trying to up their sales in China. Maybe that's what it is. They're just really trying to get that Chinese market, so they put Klay on there.
He just tries so hard to be cool, and he's just not.
It's so ridiculous. If you guys haven't seen it, it's a picture of Klay Thompson in a jersey and hanging out, sitting on a lawn chair with sunglasses on, his hands up in the air, and it says "buckets and chill."
Yeah, it's
and
stupid
he's
as
like
fuck.
on a
Doesn't make sense.
he's on like the green of a golf course.
They need to learn how to make puns.
Yeah,
that's Yeah.
Because Buckets and Chill is not a fuck.
They should listen
Fucking
to the NBA podcast.
Yeah.
They'll learn from NBA. Anything else we want to talk about today, guys?
No.
No. All right. Let's plug some shit and let's get out of here.
I would like to plug my Instagram. I've started a campaign to become an Instagram hoe. So I started posting hot pics
They're
Hot piss.
super hot. Succulent.
Specifically, the first pic I posted is me in a coat and a hat. Yes.
Man, so
Very
hot.
hot, man. Someone actually literally, while we were recording, commented, man's not hot. So, yeah, I'm working on that. Follow me at Fat Reed, FATTR33D. Kill the guy that took my
We gonna find you, homie. We gonna find you.
You can run and tell that, homeboy.
Homeboy.
Yeah, I'm find him on Pop the Trunk.
Oh man.
I hope I don't go to jail for this.
Nah.
I'm not really threatening you. This is comedy. Also follow me on Twitter, FATTREED. Follow EA Love on Instagram.
What's EA Love, man?
EA Love is a podcast about basketball.
That's not true. This is the podcast about basketball.
Just kidding. It's about food.
Nice.
Yes, food. The two things you need in your life more than anything, basketball and food. We got you covered.
Wow.
And also soon podcasts and Mystery Science Theater 3000 and mental health.
Yeah.
Because you need all those in
That's
your
true.
life.
It's
Obviously.
It's the trifecta.
Mystery Science Theater 3000 has been in my Netflix list for probably like over a year. But I'll watch it at some point.
We'll get there. Nicky, anything to plug?
You can follow me on the social medias at Nicky Palooza on all of social media. Also, follow our Twitch channel, Yay Network. Started back up on doing that, so that's been a lot of fun. And then if you're in the Chicagoland area, Thursday, March 22nd or Thursday, March 29th, 10:30 p.m., Second City Black Box Theater. What else is on? It's a sketch show that I'm in. Tickets are $10.
And I will be there. So if you want to meet me in person, don't talk to me while my brother's performing, you stupid son of a bitch. Talk to me after.
You are terrible at promo.
Sorry. All right. Yeah. Follow me, J_Keelas on all social media platforms. Follow NBA on Twitter at NBA Pod, at NBA Pod on Facebook and on Instagram. Per usual, as I mentioned earlier in the episode, if you haven't yet, please do subscribe, rate, and review on the podcast on whatever podcast player you use. That's how people will find us so that they get to listen to this beautiful nonsense that we spit every week, just like you do. For Matt, for Nicky, for Jay, this has been NBA. We're out.